Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. Almost 15 years and 2 kids need support. I, 32M, discovered that my wife, 29F, cheated on me with another woman. We would celebrate 15 years since we met this year, and we have 2 kids together, 5F, 3F. We started dating at a very young age. I was 18 and she was 14. At the start everything happened very fast and we were true lovers. She was very insecure, and would yell at me for almost any interaction I'd have with another woman. When this started I was already too committed to the relationship to understand how abusive this was and that I should have just let her go. As the years passed, she changed, and wouldn't be so mad for that. I thought everything was fine, but I always felt that I was much more committed to our relationship than she. Fast forward, we married, and had 2 kids together. We had very similar views about the world, politics, and how we would like to raise our children. So everything appeared to be fine to me. We had very different views on how we enjoy life, though. I am much more an introvert type, that likes just sitting down and having meaningful conversations about life, spirituality, philosophy, and things alike. She's much more adventurous, likes to travel, meet new places, and do more dangerous stuff like parachuting. I think we were too young to know what we actually wanted in life when we started. And having 2 kids, plus the pandemic, we didn't have any time for ourselves anymore. So whenever free time would show up, we ended up doing things alone, instead of doing something together. I ended up addicted to video games, and would spend a lot of time on screens. And she went on with her gym and more adventurous lifestyle. So our relationship was in a very bad shape. But I thought it was something temporary, that we would eventually fix it as we always did. About a week ago I discovered she cheated on me with another woman, something I never imagined she would be capable of. And she says she has emotions on that other relationship, so she's not quitting it for me, even though I was willing to try again and forgive her for her infidelity. We decided on divorce this week, but we still have so much to figure out about it. We have a home, kids, car, dogs. It seems everything is so overwhelming right now. I feel like crap, and she's there finding support on her new thing. We had such great affinity that she was my only support point in life. We both have a lot of divergences with our families, so we always found comfort in each other. Now I feel like I have nothing. How can someone I trusted that much do that to me? How can I truly recover from this so I'm not traumatized for future relationships? How do I stop feeling like crap? My self-esteem is completely gone. I feel like I will never find someone again, and I was lucky to have her. I also feel like she was toxic with me, and she contributed a lot for me to be in this shitty state of mind. I just want to move on, and learn to live by myself, but it feels so difficult right now. I don't want to be a depressive person. I don't cry as often today, but still cry when I think about my kids. I didn't want them to go through this and have to grow up with divorced parents. Any advice or kind words are welcome. I just wanna feel joy in life again. I'm sorry for your heartache, Hop. This being said, you can still be a great dad. Your STBXW is a cheat, period. The fact that her paramour's another woman has no effect on the fact that she's a common cheat, and ending your relationship over this indiscretion does not make you a homophobe. Your STBXW went outside your marriage for romantic and sexual purposes. Please get some individual counseling and take time to heal up. You're still young and life has a lot more to offer you. Good luck. Sorry you're going through this, Op. Recovering from this just takes a lot of time and probably some therapy. I would suggest reading some articles or books that are linked here on this sub if therapy is too expensive right now. Just remember, it's not your fault. She is the one who left the marriage when she decided to cheat. No, it doesn't matter that it was with a woman. She is still a cheater. Instead of being honest with you, she did this, so this is all on her. You're a good man and father. Take solace in that. Similar circumstances over here, so I empathize completely. Godspeed and healing, my friend. No one mentioned the issue with 14 and 18. True, the damage he did to her as a 14-years-old likely outweighs his current strife. Come to say this. Bro, let go. That's not the purpose of the community. Might be related to infidelity. You get a child in a relationship and they won't know how to respect themselves, boundaries and shit, just a bad start, so no surprise there was a bad end. Don't use your kids to not move forward with your healing. Yes, divorce can initially be hard on your children, but if you can co-parent well, then they will have two happy parents to go to. You have been together for so long and so young, it is not that surprising you found yourself here. There are no villains here, just two people who are growing up. I would get to therapy to help you through this trauma and see if you can get to a point where you don't have animosity towards her, but you hope she finds happiness. The same applies to you. It will be very difficult, as in all long-term relationships, codependency can creep in. One step at a time. Join a gym. Set small goals but keep moving forward. Try to keep communication with her about finance and logistics. Well, I am sure you didn't want that for the kids, but try to see what is the best with the current scenario. I would try to teach the kids to not have the bad core values that made her mother cheat. Also, I would avoid making the kids hate her, but I would also not defend bad attitudes from her. About how can someone I trusted that much do that to me? So, it is hard, but your wife is a cheater, which is quite vague term, but it means she has bad core values or mental issues like being narcissist or sociopath. The point is, she didn't truly love you. That happened to me, but she was my fiancé. I'm sorry / How can I truly recover from this so I'm not traumatized for future relationships? How do I stop feeling like crap? My self-esteem is completely gone. I feel like I will never find someone again, and I was lucky to have her. I think only therapy. I'm still traumatized and feel bad sometimes, but I was much worse. The therapist helped me to take bad stuff like the engagement ring or to block her from my phone. She tried to reach me with different numbers. I think there is light at the end of the tunnel. I hope more than to be traumatized or not. I want to be happy. I was doing everything to make my ex-fiancé happy. Edit, awesome comment from GoGoSocks82. In the beginning I thought it was my fault, but later, after many nights without sleeping, I was sure it wasn't. She broke the sacred trust and hides things from you. It's not your fault. You can do or not do as many of these as you wish. Hint, they are mostly good for you. Join a gym. Sign up for martial art, boxing, Muay Thai, etc. Sign up for co-ed team sports. Meet people. Do outdoor activities as much as you can. Take the kids on walks and hikes. Use your kid equals time to be active and engage with them. Your STBXW has other interests. Lawyer up. This is critical. You didn't mention if she worked, so if she has been as all this time, you are in alimony hell. Don't let it be alimony and child support hell. If you live in an at-fault country or state, sue for divorce under adultery. It could be a mitigating factor. Your STBXW has broken the marriage covenant and committed adultery. Whether it was with a man, a woman, or a goat, your STBXW stepped outside the marriage. There is nothing you did that could not have been worked out. Remember this. You and your family were cheated on. Time she could have spent with the kids, or you was spent cheating. Be the best you that your children deserve. You will be stunned, as will your STBXW, at how many women will be interested in a stable, employed, and young man. Your children are less of a barrier to dating for you than they will be for her. Be sensible. Don't drink alcohol. Don't take any drugs, other than what is prescribed, and try to rebuild friendships or find new ones. You got this. Remember, this is not your fault. Please get into IC for yourself as soon as possible. Also, see if you can find a support group for ex-spouses of gay and lesbians. you are not alone. Recommended reading: Chump Lady, Leave a Cheater, Gain a Life. This is also a website, Cheating in a Nutshell, and the Body Keeps the Score. Also, consult with a lawyer ASAP. You must protect yourself and your assets as well as figure out custody. Your wife is possibly in the affair fog, so act quickly. You are going to be okay. You're still young and have so many years left. Take the time to heal/recover. Consider this the universe's way of removing your wife from your life so that you will be open to receiving the new life and love that awaits you. Best of luck. Edit: remember that the path to recovery is not a linear one. You will have good days and bad days, but things will get better. Find a therapist and a lawyer. You will need the advice and help of both to navigate a very new and difficult chapter in your life. What to do after breakup? Needs support. I am trying to survive a breakup of a relationship that lasted over 14 years. We have 2 kids, and when I am with my kids, I always have something to do, so time flies by. But what do I do on weekends when I am alone? I even downloaded Tinder, but I am not really in the mood to text/date other women right now. I imagine laying in bed for the whole weekend is not healthy though. Will time heal this? Is it just a matter of waiting? Or should I force myself into dates? Volunteer. Find an organization whose mission aligns with your own and get involved. You'll meet good people and it really is comforting to know you can make a difference in someone's life. There are many good organizations that need help. That's an awesome response. I always wanted to volunteer but had no time. I will start searching for an organization. Thank you. I started taking walks around my area. I've become friendly with a number of my neighbors I would never have noticed otherwise. I have started taking care of myself a little more. Nothing drastic, but I now have a simple skincare routine and always make sure my hair is nicely styled. People have noticed and it makes me feel good about myself. Church, not sure that is your thing, but 1 hour a week getting in touch with my spirituality has helped me with my thoughts and feelings. Perhaps even a simple meditation exercise. Children, I'm trying to spend more time with my kids individually. My previous problem child has really settled since I have done this. Time. I think you need to recognize that this isn't what you want, but it is what it is. I journal a lot and it really helps organize my thoughts. It also helped me see my own progress of healing. To the point where I even amaze myself. Don't force yourself into dates. If you're bored, find friends of the same sex through shared hobbies. Try meetup.com. You need to restore your faith in humanity first, then your faith in the gender of your partner preference. Try to meet people with the intention of meeting new people, and not necessarily putting a pretext of dating on it. Unfortunately, lounging in bed won't help. Find some friends that are willing to deal with your sadness and want to be around you anyway. I recently found a couple and they convinced me to go to my first concert I paid to go to, been to some for work not pleasure. Get to the gym or find an exercise routine. I've dropped 50 pounds so far and feel great. Go out into the world alone, get comfortable with it. It will take some time to get used to this, but it will come. Get a little counseling if you feel you need it. It allowed me a place to vent and figure out areas of my life I needed to improve. It's been a year for me after my 6 years marriage and 16 total year relationship ended. I'm not ready to date, but I'm getting closer, I think. Take your time with dating and don't rush it. Remember, anyone you date will be around your kids at some point if it becomes long term, and they need to be a safe place for them. Time will make things easier, but you will feel the loss of what you had for a while. I still think about my ex-wife every day, and part of me loves remembering the good times and part of me hates that I still care and love her. I have just started to put away all the projects that never got started or finished. I am taking it slow. I only have 2 goals until winter comes. 1. Rebuild the plow. 2. Fix up some rust spots on my truck. Keep it simple, keep it doable. Just get out. Go to areas where there are other people. Music is always a good idea. Even going to dinner by yourself is okay. I'm currently in a relationship where my elderly mule lives with us. We don't eat out. I would love to go to dinner by myself. Recently I have been bike riding on the weekends while my daughter has been fishing a lot with a new male friend. Just try to be outdoors during the day. Spend time with friends and other family, siblings or parents if they are nearby. Rediscover old hobbies or find new ones, and join group activities. Learn something new, through reading, listening, or watching things. Reflect and write down your thoughts and feelings. Find what makes you feel fulfilled and whole alone, then you will be ready to date others to add to your life. Time will help. Don't force yourself to date yet if it feels too soon. Redirect that energy to hanging out with friends or family, joining new hobbies of some kind, go to an indoor pool to take up swimming, start a new online video game, get into painting etc. Then join communities with people into the same stuff if you want to be more social, focusing on yourself, meal prepping or trying new and delicious recipes that might be more complex since you have the time, working out or learning new skills, or just being ultimate comfy and have gaming nights or movie nights etc. where you have some tasty snacks and some tea or whatever, light some candles, have a bath and throw on a podcast or audiobook. The world is your oyster during that alone time. You don't have to be productive or anything, but you may find doing some stuff like that keeps you enjoying your own company a little more, which will be great to bring into a relationship when you're ready. And also great for now, and I bet your kids will think it's cool to hear about anything new you try and show to them. Time, itself, can only do so much. How you fill your time makes all the difference in the world. Dive deep into your hobbies, and get new ones. Be social and go do man shit with other men. Don't have many friends? Go get some. Do shit you've always wanted to try, put your new freedom to work. Be physical. That's anything from walking/working out to dancing or playing sports. Get up and move, moving is great medicine. Don't sweat dating, there's no need or rush. Learn to be badass as a single dude, comfortable being single. It'll help in relationships down the road. You didn't say how long it's been since D-Day. But, if it's been a relatively short time, you are probably still feeling some combination of shock, hate, self-pity, sorrow, self-doubt, low self-esteem, etc. Most victims experience these feelings, and, while these emotions are still raw, it's not usually a good time to try and start a new, long-term relationship. Even if your ex is out there in public with her OM. Once you hit maybe the 60 or 90-day mark, after D-Day, try to get involved with support groups, such as on Facebook or sometimes run by churches or other non-profits. Even therapy, if you can afford it. Maybe group therapy or online therapy might be less expensive. Also, force yourself to try and find new hobbies or group activities that can bring you into a social setting with potential new friends. Work on personal issues that might have bothered you, such as joining a gym and actually going there. Look into the possibility of hiring a female life coach, perhaps one that focuses less on careers and growing wealth, and more on refining interpersonal skills. Don't ignore red flags. Rant. I am heartbroken. Feeling guilty. Feeling I hit the bad lottery in life. 14 years relationship, 2 kids, comfy home, good financial situation. She's valuing an affair over everything we had. But, those 14 years were not butter smooth, she had her secrets. She lied to me before, for smaller things. And she always felt me feel like I was guilty of it. Oh gosh, I love my kids so much, but in all honesty, never, ever, ignore a red flag like your partner lying to you and feeling no remorse for whatever reason. Now I will be a single parent. I will go back to renting a place. I won't see my kids every day. I will have to pay so she still has a way to support our kids. And I will have to discuss my kids' life with someone that does not have the same moral values as I do. Please, do your future self a favor and never ever ignore red flags. It's seduct and better to be by yourself than to accept someone subpar to share your life, as they will eventually ruin it some way or another. It's seductive and better to be by yourself than to accept someone subpar to share your life. I'm so glad you see it this way. It's so hard when you are still in love with the cheater, it's such a relief when you reach this stage. I agree, it's so important not to ignore red flags. Small lies, even unrelated to hiding cheating or cheating behaviors, are warnings I stupidly ignored. Now I know that when there's smoke, there's fire. I'm so sorry you are going through this. I hope you have people that love you to support you through this. Your kids are so fortunate to have you, even if their mother is now a disappointing role model for them, but even the most skilled liar and manipulator cannot hide their various flaws or fake niceness, and they will see that one day. I am in this exact boat right now. Sorry you are going through this op. I ignored red flags too. I ignored the flags because I wanted to see the best in her. I found myself making excuses for her. In the end I figured out she didn't value our family and marriage like I did. I've been single for 3 years now. I've made attempts at dating. I rarely make it past 2 or 3 dates with a woman because I now refuse to ignore red flags. I did this too. Now I look back and kick myself. I ignored them because I always wanted to believe the best in him. He's an idiot, but I'm the bigger idiot. I feel this for myself as well. But I have to remember, I loved this person with my whole heart. I believed he loved me in the same way. That doesn't make me stupid. I loved the only way that I am capable of, and he was not worthy of that. The fault is all his. Incredibly similar circumstances here. It sucks, but your outlook is sound. It's mind-boggling how someone can wreck their family's life overnight on some stupid, selfish whim. Those chickens will come home to roost for them one day, bank on it. Peace and healing to you and your kids. I'm so waiting for the chickens. Praying for chickens to fly home on eagle's wings, folded hands. 14 years were not butter smooth, she had her secrets. She lied to me before, for smaller things. And she always felt me feel like I was guilty of it. In the same boat. 12 years of small lies, made excuses for bad behavior. Now I know he actually also has big lies for the whole duration of the relationship. Always said he told lies because I overreacted or was mean. In reality I am overly calm. I believed it for years though. Projecting your morals, values and self onto someone keeps the illusion alive that they are like you. It did for me. Same boat too. I was projecting my worldview into her, one where adults are fallible but are also fundamentally good and with love and commitment can get through tough times and build a life. I used techniques like patience, understanding, and communication when approaching the relationship. Meanwhile she was projecting her worldview onto me, one where people are selfish liars that are always scheming to meet their needs at the expense of others. She used gaslighting, history rewriting, and lying as her approach to the relationship. These are fundamental character issues and there's no amount of couples counseling that can solve it. Used gaslighting, history rewriting, and lying as her approach to the relationship. Yeah. 100% what he did in the end. Used mental health as the excuse. Also, I left when I was 12 weeks pregnant, stopped seeing his toddler and mentally tormented me for 3 months while I didn't know about the affair. Then it was my fault and he and AP are perfect. Cannot fix fundamental character flaws and I realized I would never understand it because I would never think of doing such a thing. My morals will never match those actions. Just sad it took so long for me to catch on. Positive side is I love my kids and wouldn't change that. My ex waited until she was 16 weeks pregnant to start cheating on me. These people are all cut from the same shit cloth. No kidding. It's sad how fundamentally similar they are. WTF, that is the absolute strangest time to start cheating. She was making pornographic videos of herself masturbating to send to guys she met in online video games, in another room while I was remodeling the nursery upstairs. Not exactly the same story. But my wife was doing the same thing from the living room couch. Every day I asked myself what the duck is wrong with these people. She moved out Saturday. It was like she was escaping a prison she was running to get out. Never even mentioned she was having a problem in a relationship. If I didn't find her phone unlocked one day, I wouldn't know anything. Same here. He gaslit me for years. I'm finally out of it and with someone who values me. Looking back, it's so clear to me now how little my ex-H valued me or our relationship. When you look at someone through rose-colored glasses, all the red flags just look like flags. Yes, red flags and gut feelings. I really played myself when I would sometimes lay at night when he had his night shifts and this wave of dread would suddenly come over me and I'd really just say, oh, it's just my anxiety. I'm an anxious person, effectively gaslighting myself, lol. Trust those feelings. Humans are far more observative than we often give ourselves credit for. To this day I don't know how I knew, what little clues he left behind that my brain put together behind the scenes, but what's important is that I knew and I should have listened to myself. It seems like that's a common theme. I stopped listening to myself right after she made me feel as if I was hurting our relationship with my jealousy. 3 years later I found out I was right the whole time. Now I'm struggling to find myself and differentiate between my feelings and actual thoughts. You and I are sadly similar in many ways. I'm just older, been divorced from my lying, cheating ex-wife for over 16 years now, and our 3 children are all young adults. But, I was you decades ago. How did everything turn out for you? I'd appreciate any tips from someone that already went through this. She and I met young, we were each 14 and we dated all 4 years of high school, went to proms as juniors, seniors. We went to college together, became engaged during spring break of our sophomore year, and we lived together in an off-campus apartment our last 2 years of college, and we got married a few months after college graduation. We waited until we were both 29 years old to have the first of our 3 children. We wanted to become settled and we did. My then wife was able to stay at home once we began having children. We were comfortable, nice homes, vacations, blessed in so many respects. All along I knew my wife was insecure, that she had body image issues. No need, she was a tad under 5'3" inches and she weighed between 107 and 112 pounds, and she was the girl next door, pretty, in a wholesome way. She would lie about stupid stuff and I brushed it off. One example. During our freshman year of college, I walked up to her as she was lying out in the sun outside her dorm building, and she got up, gathered her stuff so we could go up to her room. While she was doing that, another young lady got up and came into the building with us, and the 3 of us rode the same elevator up, as my GF's floor was on the 7th floor. The young lady who rode up with us was in a bikini, as she'd been lying out in the sun too, and besides being gorgeous, she had a perfect body too. Here is how badly she bothered my GF. A day or 2 later, my GF told me the following story. She told me that a male student newspaper reporter came by to do a story about them lying out in the sun. There were like 30 girls lying out in the sun. It was a huge university. Her dorm building housed over 500 students on 11 floors, and that reporter told her she had the best body out there. That's what she told me anyway, except none of that happened, at all. She was just worried, jealous, upset about how pretty that other young lady was and how nice her body was. So, we dated, became engaged and then got married, and she would still lie about things. It was frustrating, maddening. I'd call her out but it didn't change. One time she threw a cheap large plastic cup of mine away that I liked and used regularly. Mind you, this wasn't kept out as a centerpiece with lights shining down on it as it was kept in the cupboard, except for when I used it. She didn't like it. She told me to get rid of it many times, but I liked it and used it a lot. It was just a freaking plastic cup. One day I couldn't find it. I asked her and she said she had no idea where it was. Now, I was not looking for my plastic cup, but for something else out in the garage in the garbage, and what did I find? Yep, my plastic cup. I confronted her and she laughed about it, but she didn't apologize for throwing it away. I told her she had lied to me because I asked her if she knew where it was and she said no, but she did, as she was the one who threw it away. So, you get what I'm talking about now. She would lie about things, and this happened a lot. It was never about really important things, like money, our children, etc., so I basically just let it go, but I shouldn't have, of course. We did what she wanted, we went where she wanted to go, be it in our city at night or on the weekends, for vacations, etc. She bought what she wanted even if it cost thousands and thousands, and she never talked to me about her purchases ahead of time. However, if I spent a little money, she would go off on me. One month she noticed I charged like $30 to $35 on lunches and she was ticked off. Again, she'd buy things that cost several thousands of dollars at a pop, yet I couldn't spend like $30 to $35 in a month. Yes, we went to counseling many times, and when I say many times, I mean 5 different times during our 16+ years of marriage, and each time we went was about 20 visits, so we went to about 100 counseling visits added up over those 5 different time frames we went to counseling together. She played the victim a lot, and she did it well. She was never wrong. She was right, I was wrong. She was good, I was bad. I would be blamed for things that weren't true, and I would prove her wrong, and that just ticked her off. It didn't cause her to apologize. These posts may only be so long, so I'll end this one here and continue in another one. Eventually she began rewriting our marital history to herself and then to others, including family and friends. I know this because one of our best friends let me know. I introduced this lady to my GF in high school and they became best friends. She was at our wedding and my wife was at her wedding a few years after ours. That lady would talk to me and tell me what my wife was saying about me. Worse, for my marriage and myself, was that I really didn't look too deep into issues that I should have regarding my wife and other men, like in 1993, 1995, 2002 to 2005. We had lots of friends, were involved in our church, went to Bible classes. I taught a children's Bible class with my wife because she wanted me to. She went on mission trips. She played bunker with other women in our small subdivision. She went to breakfast on Saturday mornings with other moms and women in our subdivision. I coached Little League and youth soccer, went on Cub Scout camping trips with our oldest. In most respects, we had a nice life. We were comfortable, had friends, we kept busy socially, we were involved in our children's lives, in our subdivision, in our church, etc. In the summer of 2005 I knew she was cheating, just not who she was cheating with. It didn't take me long to find out as I looked at her cell phone records online. I met with an attorney like 2 or 3 times, I lined up an apartment for myself, and then I confronted my wife, told her I was divorcing her and that I'd be moving out in less than 2 weeks, and that's what happened. Our divorce was finalized about 5 months later, as I was able to divorce her in 90 days due to her infidelity. Then we had to get on the court docket, so it took about 5 months for it to be finalized. In one way, I ignored things I should have, in other ways I didn't, as things were brought up in counseling, but she continued doing them anyway. My parents divorced when I was 2 years old, and I did not want to be divorced, especially when our children were young. Sadly, they were just 4, 6 and 9 years old when we divorced. I didn't struggle with the decision to divorce her, but it was still difficult. I wasn't myself for a good 2 years afterwards. I went to a lot of counseling. I went to the gym a lot, many times, twice a day. I worked a lot as I'd leave for dinner, go to the gym and then go back to the office, many times until midnight or even later, as I didn't want to be alone in my place. I volunteered, went to Bible classes. I did some more to keep myself busy, as sitting alone doing nothing wasn't an option for me. My mind would focus on what went wrong, her affair, us, etc. I stayed away from my place until late each night, so I'd be tired and just able to crash when I got home. My gym was open 24 hours, and so many times I'd go there at 3 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. because I woke up, couldn't sleep, and was thinking about us, about her, about all that happened, so I went to the gym. After about 2 years I became my normal self again. We've been divorced for over 16 years now. She's still not addressed her issues. She's on husband number 3, our 2 oldest rarely see her or speak to her, and many friends quit being her friend once they knew she cheated. That lady I mentioned, her best friend, quit being her friend too. My ex-wife's mother was a saint. Her parents remained married until they both died of old age. Her childhood was a pretty good one, all things considered. But, she's always right, others are wrong. She plays the victim, she has to have things her way. I am glad you have found your peace. Lies, no matter what they are about, are so destructive. So sorry you went through what you did. Wow. You described my wife and my life to a T. I have no hard evidence, but my spidey sense is tingling. Wow. Thanks for sharing. If it did not help Op, it helps me. Thanks Op for starting this. Ain't this the truth? We talked about our good fortune of finding soulmates with one another. What a lazy sentiment that was. My ex-wife was very similar to yours, although her trashy low-life AP isn't into drugs in the conventional sense, more into the dopamine hit he gets from cheating on her and lying about his life, motivations, etc. Pathetic. I know this sucks. The dude in my case actively worked to sabotage my relationship with my wife of 10 years. Dude was in AA and flaunting help with her sobriety. Addict mentality, even if it is just dopamine. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.